Testing. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Let's see. Sound good? Perfect. So, all right. All right. Okay. Let's put this back. All right. While we wait for everybody, let's get this part recorded. So, Monday night games today, two of them. Results from the weekend. Quarterbacks. I got Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, and Jordan Love right. Said Jordan Love would have a good game, which he did, but they ended up in a tie. Said Jared Goff would not do as hot, which panned out, and Carson Wentz ended up having a good game. So those were all hits for me on the quarterbacks. It was a funny day, though, for some other defenses. Baker Mayfield was able to score on the Philadelphia defense, so I missed on that one. Dak Prescott scored and tied the game with no CeeDee Lamb, two offensive linemen out, and still ended up being able to tie supposedly one of the Super Bowl contending teams. So that was interesting to see. Hold on, let me fix this thing real quick. I don't like how this looks. Where'd it go? Okay, there we go. That's good. That is good. Okay. Um, Dak Prescott without, can't believe they almost beat the Green Bay Packers. Drake May ended up with a really good game, even though he completed less than like 20 passes. Geno Smith projected to have a good game through 3 interceptions. Holy smokes, that was not good. So missed on him. And then Daniel Jones, the receiver, dropped the ball into the end zone. So took away a couple points there. Had a couple bad plays. So missed on Daniel Jones. Wasn't as good as thought he would be for the week. Going to tight ends, hit on Hunter Henry, had a good game. Dalton Kincaid caught a touchdown. Njoku and Schultz said to sit them, which ended up being a good option there. Where I missed on the tight ends, Dallas Goedert ended up catching 2 touchdowns, which was crazy. So I was wrong on that one. Zach Ertz thought he would have a little bit better of a game than what he did. So that didn't end up so good. Travis Kelce, had some catches, but didn't really do much, so missed on that one. And Sam Laporta said was a startable option and did not end well with that one. In terms of wide receivers, Michael Pittman looking like a reliable receiver this year to have on your roster. So that was a good one. said Jamison Williams should be a sit. He did. A Hippo AI. Let me see. What are you saying, man? Opinion of trading Ibuka because of Godwin coming back and Evans coming back week 7 and 8. I think he is a very good sell high candidate right now. So I can agree with that. Maybe somebody can, if you are deep enough at wide receiver and you're looking to upgrade, maybe somebody would be willing to switch you for one of the top wide receivers there, or a solid running back I could see. But yeah, I mean, I think even in the next few weeks, even if Godwin and Evans come back, I think he will be usable, serviceable for a little while. But I think as the season goes on, it's going to start to become not necessarily like as crazy as Green Bay in terms of how touchdowns get passed around like that, but in a sense there's going to be there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed, right? Even Bucky coming out of the backfield to catching passes. So like right now he's scoring every game. Yeah, the receptions could be more, but I would say he's a good sell high candidate right now. So I like that. Do you have any particular trades in mind, or any players you're looking to target, or positions you're looking to fill? While anybody answers that or drops in the chat, I'll continue on the receivers. So Pittman was good. Said to sit Jameson Williams. Said sit Judy and Ridley too, which were all good calls. George Pickens was a good start. Drake London, Rome Odunze, all good starts. So good hits for the week. I did not think Xavier Worthy would get this usage right off the bat, so I was wrong on that one. There was a lot of mixed reporting out there. A lot of mixed reporting out there. So I messed up on Xavier Worthy on that one. You need a running back so you don't start Pacheco. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Do you have any good targets in mind? I think if you cruise your teams, maybe we could find something for you. But what I kind of mentioned when I look at trading with teams, it's like who's gonna fit that niche, right? Where does Ibuka fit into somebody else's lineup who may have excess running backs, and it would be willing to trade you for Ibuka? Your cousin is interested, dude. If you can get Josh Jacobs, do it right away. I would 100% do that. No questions asked. Josh Jacobs is arguably one of the top finishers on the year. So I if you if you can get that value, definitely go for it. Anyone so either you target a team that has excess running backs and needs a wide receiver, or like you just said, if somebody's very interested in a player, like maybe they are a fan of a team, like they're a Tampa Bay fan and they like Ibuka, then that would be the other people to target, right? So I hands down I would switch Ibuka for Jacobs. I would take that trade, especially so you're not starting Pacheco. I think I even wrote it down here. I was wrong on him. I said to sit him and he magically got in the end zone, right? But it's if he's not getting in the end zone, it doesn't look good, and I don't foresee him being the guy on the goal line every time, because they use Kareem Hunt quite a bit. So yeah, I like your thought there to not have to start Pacheco. So if we keep going down this list, I missed on Xavier Worthy, missed on Chris Olave. Could have been a little better there, but that weird play of him throwing an interception kind of hampered his day and put a wrinkle into things. Keenan Allen did get the looks and targets and touches, but not the yards or the touchdown, so that wasn't good. And Jacoby Myers didn't look good. I since I was wrong on Geno Smith, Jacoby Myers was also a miss there too. In terms of, let's see, running backs, hit Cam Scatterbu got really good usage. I think we'll get into the sell high and stuff later, but he he looked like he got some good usage. Marion Hampton. Um, Marion Hampton uh, had a great game. The one thing to note, I would note with him is, the touches, the number of touches weren't necessarily all the way there. They were playing from behind, but that is one thing to note, just to see what the usage is going to be in that offense. I'm not really sure what they're going to do in that Chargers offense. Looked like they were going to be throwing, but ended up losing. So maybe they do go more run heavy. So just note Omar and Hampton's usage over this next week. Swift, you play him, he did well. Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, Nick Chubb said to all sit them. That worked out well. And then Quinshon Judkins, man, that guy's tearing it up. I think he's going to have to be a start for this foreseeable future, even though it is a terrible offense. He seems to be the part of the engine where they just keep wanting to feed Quinshon Judkins. So that was a good pick. What I missed on, I didn't think Javonte Williams would get the usage he did. Did not think Green Bay would end up seizing that many points to Dallas. So that was a miss. Isaiah Pacheco fell into the end zone. So he finished higher than I thought he would. And I thought Jordan Mason would get a little better usage than he did, but he ended up not. Hey, William, how are you? You need 20 points tonight. Which has best chance, Higgins or Waddle? Full PPR. I think Waddle there. So I guess where my thought process would be on that is, since it's full PPR, Waddle might be able to get you there with something, like 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown, right? Like that is feasible for Waddle because he's been catching like 5 passes a game recently. And 80 yards is not really out of the question, I would say, against Cincinnati, and you're getting a touchdown. When I look at Higgins, when Joe, I know Jake Browning had a good period of time, right, where he was throwing touchdowns, but I feel like in order for Higgins to get there, it would have to be 2 touchdowns, right? It would have to be 2 touchdowns or like an 80-yard bomb and then like another 40-yard pass or something like that. I see less receptions, but potential higher touchdown maybe with Higgins, but you don't even know if that's true or not. So I think Waddle, he's my spotlight for tonight. I just really want to see if the trend that they have, continues, where he keeps getting, close to 10 targets, 5 receptions or more, and just see if they can get him going a bit more. So that's what I would say. Hopefully that helped. But if you feel that the T Higgins is gonna do it, go ahead, because Miami's defense is Swiss cheese. So whatever you're feeling, but I would have chose Waddle in a full PPR for myself. Okay, so we viewed all of the predictions I made from last week and what happened on Sunday. So it was a bit of chaos, I would say. I think this was one of my worser pick weeks. I would say I think a lot of it was just unexpected quarterback situations that ended up affecting other players as well. Thanks for the advice. I have Waddle in there. Just wanted some confirmation. Yeah, good luck, man. I'll be watching and rooting with you, because I'm gonna have to play Waddle probably next week. But I have high hopes for hopefully them turning this offense around and getting things going. So appreciate the question, William. Let me know if you have any others. And thank you so much. Thank you. So that was the predictions from week 4, and I guess looking forward to this week, what I would say, you need Waddle. Oh, so both of you guys need Waddle to get 20 points. So I guess everybody's rooting for Waddle tonight. Everybody's praying for Waddle. Everybody's working together on that one. High fives around. So week 5, this is what I'd be thinking about headed into this week if you potentially have some of these players or need some help. So we'll start with the waiver wire. Tajay Spears is coming back. So all these players I chose are not highly rostered in leagues, so should be available in deeper leagues. Shallower leagues, if you have questions on who to pick up, feel free to drop it. But Tajay Spears, coming back with how bad Tony Pollard and Cam Ward and all of them have kind of, looked together. I feel like they might try something with Spears, so he might be worth grabbing onto. Brenton Strange, I only put up here if you're in a deeper league and or there's pretty much no tight ends on the board. He's been getting fairly good usage in terms of receptions. So in the tight end position, that's all you can ask for, right? Is getting a few receptions and hopefully one of them is in the end zone. Jackson Dart, almost as many rushing attempts as completed passes for Jackson Dart. So, maybe not in terms of the football game being the smartest thing for an NFL team, but in terms of fantasy football, that is good. So he might be worth the stash on the bench. Romeo Doubs, I know we all traced touchdowns with Tucker this last week from the Raiders, and that did not pan out well. But the difference with Doubs, I would say, is that Doubs was a person that you could have looked at the beginning of the year. And while he may not be consistent from week to week, he's over the courses of the years has had, touchdowns being caught. So I'm seeing this guy more as a, flex option for high ceiling in the right matchup type of situation to throw in your bench and, in the right situation where you're looking for upside and the defense is, gonna favor the pass and the offense on the other team could be competitive. Romeo Doubs might be a, deeper league or a flex or a Hail Mary type guy. And then I know that recent news said Brandon Ayuk has still a long ways to go. So, if you don't have the bench spots, don't pick him up right now. But I would say that, previous seasons before last when he got injured, he was over 1,000 yards, high touchdown. So for somebody to sit on your bench for a few weeks might be worth it, especially if you are looking for some wide receiver depth. In terms of buying low, so this is kind of based off recent usage, right? Trey Benson, people probably spent up on him to get him, and they're probably disappointed with last week's performance. So you might be able to buy him at a good price. Chris Godwin, he physically kind of looked half a step off, quarter step off, and didn't get much yardage. So somebody might be willing to move off of him. But I think he's a good person to stash. Caleb Williams had a terrible performance this last week. And being a Williams holder myself, I know that it is an emotional roller coaster holding him. So somebody might be willing to let go of Caleb this week. And then RJ Harvey, we'll take a look at what happens tonight, right? But if his usage does not look good tonight, I think somebody would be willing to let go of him, or if he's, he might already be on your waiver. But I think he is still worth the handcuff, because even though J.K. Dobbins is performing well, the history is that J.K. Dobbins has always had some type of injury. And so I think RJ Harvey should always be rostered and, potentially just held on to in the long term. Some sell high candidates. Now, I know some of these guys we may want to keep or we may be looking forward to, but this is just an alternate perspective based off of your your roster makeup, right? So this feedback may only be useful for certain types of rosters, right? So Cam, Scattaboo, there is uncertainty, I would say, in that offense. There's what's going on with Tracy. Dart is playing, looking good, but is he gonna? It's hard for me to believe that they're gonna use Cam Scattaboo as much as they did last game in every single game. Moving forward, they were up, right? So there was a lot of reason to run the ball. And I felt the game script went his way. I think he does have a chance to fall into the end zone, but eventually are those touches going to be split again, and or how long is that offense going to be able to chug along? So I think if you don't need him, and you have usage needs somewhere else, like a wide receiver or something, or a tight end, maybe you could flip him for that. Xavier Worthy, I think it looks like he's healthy. Once somebody's injured, there's always that risk of re-injury. And I know Rashee Rice is still a few weeks out. Yet, I think this with the high performance and that notion that he does have some weeks without Rashee Rice, I think this is his high value point. So if you are already worried about his long-term usage, I think now's the perfect time to move him. DeAndre Swift, he looked excellent in this last game, right? And he's been pretty solid this whole year. My only concern with him is it does seem like they are starting to shift, the split of that backfield a bit, and he might end up, losing touches as the season goes on. We're not sure yet, right? We're not sure what they're thinking. So, since he's coming off some really solid first 4 weeks, people really see him as a running back that could be counted on. Right now, you might be able to get some good value off him. And Marvin Harrison Jr., if you're a believer, hold him. If you are a believer in him, hold him. I just have him here for a sell high because how I see this is, this last game, it came down to garbage time to get him, right? That's the work. Before that, he was basically looking like hold on, let me fix this light. Boom. Okay. 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 Yeah, so Marvin Harrison, in order to get the game he had, it came down to garbage time. And I know there's going to be garbage time in some of these Arizona games, but I don't know. How I look at this, and this is me being honest with previous sports abilities for myself, right? For myself, is there were periods of time in sports, whether it be golf, volleyball, basketball, whatever that I played, is there is that thing called the yips, right? There is that thing called the yips where in golf they call it the shanks, or you're missing short putts. In basketball, you might be missing free throws. And in football, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is another person who potentially could have the yips, but it almost feels like to me there's a head game going on with Marvin Harrison Jr. and maybe even Kyler Murray a little bit as well, but for sure Marvin Harrison Jr. I kind of see him a little bit of the head case, where sports is part mental. So, even though he had a good game, I'm not sure if I would hold him long term. But if you're a believer, go for it. Also, it's the Arizona Cardinals and their offense, which you basically would have to rely on in order for him to have a good game. So those are my sell high candidates. I know the game is coming up soon. I think Knicks or Fields. Who would I choose? Are you winning or losing? If to me, if you need the upside, Keith, I would take Fields. Um, but I'm not sure what you think based on if you're up. So you're up 10. Um, yeah, I think let me see where I had them. I had them. I think I would do Fields. Um, but let me just double check. With Tyreek also to play, he has. Oh, you're up 10. Oh, sorry. You're up 10 with Tyreek also to play, and he has Garrett Wilson. Okay. So, I mean, okay, so in this case, if I understand what you're saying correctly, I would play Fields because then you'd be hedging your bet, right? If I understand what you're saying correctly, if you're up 10 and he has Wilson, the only way Wilson's going to get points is through Fields, right? So if you're up 10 then and you have Fields, right? Then you have the ability for Fields to get points outside of Wilson. And sure, Wilson's points go higher per yard and stuff, but that way, let's just say Bo Nix has a bad game, but then what's his name? Fields has a good game. You could lose in that situation, right? But for him to have Garrett Wilson and then you two play Fields, there's very few outcomes possible for him to win, right? Like no, hopefully no jinxing it. It would basically be like Fields would have to get like hurt. There'd have to be this weird touchdown where Fields is not throwing it to Garrett Wilson, right? Or something like that almost has to happen in order for you to lose. So I think if I understand what you're asking, that's what I would do. Let me know if I'm off base and I misunderstood you incorrectly, Keith. Alvaro, full PPR. You're down 32. You have Tua, Waddle, and Lutz. Do I think you have a shot? Yeah, I mean, hey, any given week, right? Any given week, anything could happen. You're welcome, Keith. Anything could happen, right? Right now, the Jets will probably have Tyreek covered by Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner is their shutdown corner, and most likely, I think Tyreek is playing, right? But I think he would shadow Tyreek. Yeah, it does look like Tyreek is active, right? I know there was a little weird stuff going on with Tyreek, but I think they would shadow. So I think that opens the field for Waddle, right? Waddle is in my spotlight for tonight for me to kind of observe him. But I think you're basically to get the 32, you do need a touchdown between Tua to Waddle, right? Most likely, and then anything could happen with Lutz. That's just all game flow. We have no idea. So I do think it's possible, and I'll be rooting for you here. There's a couple other people in chat who had Waddle 2 needing to get 20 points. So I guess, everybody here is looking for a touchdown to Waddle and, 7 receptions or something like that for 100 yards and a touchdown. So hopefully we all get that in what we want. You're welcome. Appreciate you. Let me know if there's any other thoughts, questions for this upcoming week or this game, but appreciate the question. Okay, so it should be getting close to the time of coverage. So let's see. We went through all the waiver wires here. We went through the buy lows, sell highs. If anybody has any waiver wire questions, feel free. And we went over all the predictions from last week. So that's good. That is good. All right, so we're going to be kicking off here with Miami and the Jets. And seems like the community wants Jalen Waddle to catch a touchdown. So we're all in this together looking for that. Seems like the Jets are going to be kicking off. So it will be Miami with the first possession. Be Miami with the first possession of the night. Kickoff. I know there's all these new rules on the kickoff. And it's I think I don't know if they're trying to encourage more offense or whatnot, but it's it'll be interesting to see if there's any changes to the rules or whatnot. So Tua and Dolphins with Jalen Waddle coming to the field. So we got a doubleheader tonight. In this game, key players being Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill. People are probably playing them. Waddle's probably in a few people's flex, just like in our discussion earlier. All right. So they had a handoff. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go for Achane. He slips. So second down. And about 8. Not much of a gain on that one. I think in this game, we will see McDaniels on the hot seat. Just like how we have the hot seat for, our players. Are we going to drop them? Are we going to trade them? What are we going to do? I think McDaniels is pretty much on the hot seat here, because if Miami loses to the Jets, that's pretty bad. That's really bad. So we'll see. We got a early third down coming. They ran 2 plays with Achane, which seems like an interesting first 2 choices to me on plays. Why are we using Achane as the running back when he is the best catching back of all time? Not all time. Of recent, he's been very good. One of the best. All right, here we go. Third down, guy in motion, 3rd and 5. Tua drops back, fires up the middle, hits his man. And first catch by Darren Waller. This guy, how did he end up getting a contract? Coming out of retirement, missing the first 3 weeks because he was not in football shape, and just makes, big contract. So there he goes, making his money on his first game played. He'll be interesting to watch because the tight end position is pretty bad. All right, Tua taking the snap, 1st and 10 on the 47, scrambling, throwing up the middle. Ooh, and his receivers hit hard. No completion here. Big hit. So it'll be 2nd and 10. We're at like the 48-yard line, the Jets 48 side, so just past midfield. It'll be 2nd and 10. Passing play across the middle did not work. That was target for Ollie Gordon. All right, we got 2 in the shotgun, taking the snap, handing off, and Achane getting like 2 yards, maybe 3. So it'll be 3rd and long. So we'll see if Tua can pull this off. I know they're showing Sauce Gardner. He's probably following Tyreek. We'll see if he ends up shadowing him or flipping between him and Waddle or what's going on. But we got a 3rd and 7. Got a shotgun going. Snap is off. Tua throwing, found his man Tyreek Hill for a 1st down. So 1st and 10. Tyreek made the catch after some weird some weird stuff going on with him off field and everything. So we got to watch on that long term because he's kind of feeling a little uncertain on if he's gonna play the full season or not. Hopefully, because he's talented, but we shall see. All right, we got 1st and 10. Hike is off. Fakes the handoff. Nobody home. Just thrown away, thrown into the dirt. Dead play, 2nd down and 10. Dead play off the 1st down. We shall see if Miami can score on their first drive here. Both teams 0-3, Jets and Miami. People are looking for probably a high scoring game here. I don't think anybody was playing either defense, so everybody wants a high scoring game here, I would assume. On snap is off, quick pass, screenplay, set up, gets about 6. I think that was Achan. Yeah, it was Achan for a gain of about 6. So it'll be another 3rd down. Feels like Miami is putting themselves in a lot of 3rd down situations on this drive, forcing themselves to convert. Everything seems really short or over the middle. See if they'll open it up. Maybe. And incomplete. Pass was intended for Waddle, I believe. So 4th and 3. We'll see what they decide to do. Looks like they're bringing on, taking off the offense, bringing on the kicking unit. There was some contact there, early contact. So the crowd is screaming for a flag. We're lining up for a field goal here. It's 47 yards. So we shall see. Snap is off. Snap is good. Kick is good. And you got a field goal. Field goal good. Field goal good. So we got the score 3-0. No catches for Jalen Waddle on that drive. Just seemed to be a bunch of short little plays for Devon Achan and couple passing plays, one for Tyreek and one for Darren Waller. So what will be the Jets' turn to make a drive, and looks like somebody was playing Justin Fields, so be interested to see how he does. But he's playing against Garrett Wilson, and he's up 10 with Tyreek Hill, so should be able to put that one away. As long as the ball gets passed around a little bit and not 100% of the offense goes through Garrett Wilson. But on that side of the ball, people are probably starting Breece Hall. People are probably starting Garrett Wilson, and I think Justin Fields was a coin flip just based on if you needed him or not. So we'll see what they end up running with in the beginning of this game. And I think Garrett Wilson will be a solid wide receiver 1 for pretty much the rest of the season. Might be an interesting play here if is this it? Yeah, he might be a interesting candidate to target depending on how this game goes. But I first see him getting good usage. It'll be good to look at Breece Hall's usage here because he should have a good game. But we'll see if, the beginning of the season was a fluke or if he really is, bouncing back and going to be used well. And it'll be good to see Justin Field again in the offense to see, what's real about him this year. Is he going to be reliable QB1 or what's going to go on? So we'll expect him to probably run quite a bit you know, probably expect him to run quite a bit in this game. So here we go. We got Miami, at home right now, and they're going to be kicking off after scoring a field goal. All right, he's chosen to run it out. Stumbles, falls, flag. We'll see what the flags end up being. But both teams 0-3, looking for their first win. Right now, we're seeing who's worse, I guess. Who is worse? And at least Miami scored on the first drive. We'll see if the Jets can answer. All right, we're waiting for flags to get sorted out. Illegal blocks, receiving team, so that'll. Ooh, we'll push the Jets back a little bit to start their field position. So here we go. Let's see if Justin Fields, coming out of the concussion protocol, can put together a good game. See if this will be competitive. All right, so here we go. We got Justin Fields taking the field. No pun intended. Guy in motion. Looks like handoff up the middle. Brees Hall. Maybe about 6. Gain of about 5 or 6 with Brees Hall up the middle. So second down. And later, the Bengals will be taking on the Broncos. Some key players still left in there on this Monday night doubleheader. All right, so we got second down and 4 on close to the 20-yard line. Got Justin Fields under center. Takes the snap, handoff. Looks like Braylon Allen's breaking a tackle. Got the first down. Gain of about 9. So first play, Brees Hall comes out. Second run, they switch him out for Braylon Allen. Interesting usage right there. Interesting usage. All right, we got Fields directing traffic in the shotgun, taking the pass, taking a snap, scrambling. Looks like he's going for it for himself. Gain of about 6 or 7. So there you go. That's what everybody wants to see with Justin Fields, right? Everybody drafted him because he chooses to run the football when he's a quarterback. And when he runs the football as a quarterback, that is more points for your fantasy team. So that's why these rushing quarterbacks have been highly desired in fantasy football, even if it doesn't end up good for the NFL team. It's good for the fantasy team. So we got Fields under shotgun, taking the snap. Handoff to Brees Hall. Looks like he got the first down. Maybe gain of about 5. First and 10. First and 10. So seems like they're marching the ball up the field without having to pass the ball right now. Miami's defense still looking pretty soft as always. So we'll see if the Jets can come away with a score here after Miami scored a field goal. So they're on the 40-yard line. First and 10. There's a shotgun. Justin Fields taking the snap, looking down. Looks like he passed it to Brees Hall. Gain of about 5 maybe. So for second down. What a catch, though. That's Brees Hall, the running back, making a play on the ball like he's a wide receiver. But that's why they drafted Brees Hall, right? That's why he was supposed to be their 3-down back, but it doesn't look like they're going to extend him after this year. Ooh, he got landed on his knee funny. Looks a little shaken up. So he went off the field for a little bit right now. 2nd and 5. Fields under center. Got a fullback in. Handoff to Braylon Allen. Found a hole in the middle. This defense is looking like Swiss cheese. Easy first down for Braylon Allen. Gain of about 10 yards. Jeez, bro. Miami, your defense. When has it ever been good? When's the last time Miami's defense been good? Holy smokes, man. Making the Jets look like A-class offense here. A-class running offense. Don't think they've. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 on Miami's 40 across midfield. And Fields under center. Guy in motion. Fields takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Blitz is picked up. He's flushed out. He's got open space, and Fields gain of about 15 on his legs. And that's again why you drafted Justin Fields. This man chooses to run the football more than anyone else. What do you think the most I can get for Marv? Hey Brad, how are you? I guess my question would be for you is, are you what are you looking to get? Are you looking to get receivers? Are you looking to get like another receiver just replace? Are you looking to get a running back, or tight end or something? I think the most you'll get, and this is what I was kind of sharing earlier, is the most you're gonna get is someone who just loves Marv, right? Either Arizona fan or someone who loves Marv, or you're gonna be, looking for someone who needs a wide receiver and will have ample things like maybe 2 tight ends, or 2 quarterbacks, right? Or bunch of running backs. I personally think that the most that you're gonna get for a guy like Marv might be somebody who, let's see, let's look, somebody who is not, I would say maybe a wide receiver 3, low end wide receiver 2, running in terms of running backs, maybe a low end 2, but let me get you some tangible names based on where they're currently at. So I pull up running backs. So we got, let's see. Like, you're not going to get like a Quinshon Judkins. You might get somebody who, might be over some of their players, and hopefully you could hit like maybe I don't know if you'll get a Travion Henderson, but maybe you could pull something like that off. Maybe somebody willing to sell high on Woody Marks if you're not picking him up off the waiver. Maybe depending on how RJ Harvey plays tonight. If in terms of running backs, you could shoot in terms of like shooting for a ceiling, right? Like what do you think? High side, maybe you could shoot for I don't think you'll get David Montgomery, but somebody in that kind of caliber where they're in the like flex to RB2 range. In terms of wide receiver, you're probably looking for somebody who also has a wide receiver that they might just want to do a start over for, right? Like if somebody else has maybe Ladd McConkey or Jamison Williams, somebody who has not been what they expected, they might want. Oh, you have Ladd, Devontae, and Diggs as my other wide receivers. CMC, K9, Scattaboo as your running backs. Ferg at tight end, so you're good there. Kyler Fields could use a wide receiver. Can depend on. I get it. So let's see. With the makeup of your team, yeah, you are looking for maybe you can get like a Pittman or somebody who is more of like, I mean, Pittman. If Pittman didn't score the touchdown, I say he might been a good one. But the person might view Pittman uh too high right now. But I'd be like, who else? If you're looking for a wide receiver depth, you'd be looking for somebody, maybe like a Keenan Allen. Because Keenan Allen had a down week, right? But you might be looking for somebody. I'd be looking for somebody who, uh, gets the targets, um, and the receptions. Let's see. So you're looking for wide receivers. You're not looking for running backs. Here, let's see ESPN. Uh, let's see. So let's see. Um, uh, maybe somebody who's down on Chris Olave after this last week. Maybe they'd be willing to switch Chris Olave. Um, Jerry Judy has not been there. Teteroa McMillan has been a little disappointing for the people who've been holding him. Um, you know, depending on what Jalen Waddle does tonight, you might be interested in him. So I might be targeting some of those guys, right? Who who've had the targets and the receptions, right? Because based on the rest of your team, like Devonta Smith, if you're playing him, you're looking at big play, right? Lad McConkey, you're probably just holding on to until he hits that hot streak that we're all looking for from him, right? So yeah, I'd be kind of looking in that range because I mean I'm not a DJ Moore fan, but the DJ Moore person might be selling. Um, but I don't think you're gonna get, maybe you could get T Higgins. Um, but I don't think you're gonna get like anybody like Cortland Sutton, Zay Flowers. I don't think you're getting DK Metcalf, right? Maybe if somebody needs somebody right now, they'd be willing to switch Mike Evans. Um, so yeah, maybe target some of those guys. Mike Evans, Teteroa McMillan. Um, let's see. Hopefully that helped, Brad. Let me know if that helped or not. Um, but yeah, just based off what I see, that's what I would try to target. All right, where are we at with this? I took my eye off things here. Not sure what happened in the game, but we'll see when it comes back. But I appreciate the questions, um, Brad, and hopefully you can move Marv. Sounds like you're agreeing with me to sell high on him right now. So um, wish you luck to find some wide receiver depth right there. Also check the waivers. I had up on here Brandon Ayuk. I don't know if anybody's holding on to him in your league, but maybe you could pick him off the waiver, um, just to add to some depth. Um, all right. All right, here we go. Oh wow. So what happened? Did they turn the ball over or something? Because now Miami has the ball on the 3. It looked like the Jets were having their way with things for a little while. They keep showing Braylon Allen. Did he fumble it? Oh, he did fumble it on the 2-yard line? Oh, no. Oh, that's crazy. That was a great punch out. So that was a fumble by Braylon Allen, huh? Jeez. All right, so Dolphins have the ball again. Dolphins have the ball again. So we got Tua in the shotgun, taking the snap, looking to throw, finds his man Tyreek Hill for a gain of about 9 or 10. Looks like a first down. Gives them some breathing room off the back. So, wow. Wow, oh wow. Should you trade Javonte and Worthy for Bijan? Val's the GOAT. How are you? If you are you telling me you're getting Bijan? If you are getting Bijan, I would do that. I would do that for sure. As long as like that doesn't put you in a position where you're gonna be like streaming your 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 wide receiver, which you shouldn't be since Worthy just came back. If you're getting Bijan, I would do that. Is there a hesitation in doing that for you? But you're basically getting like the number one running back um, in the game for basically two players who, would be your wide receiver 2 and running back 2, which, while that's nice, there's only like 3 Bijan level players in the running back position. So if you're getting Bijan, I would for sure do that. Just let me know if you had any hesitation in doing so, because that seems like a pretty good trade. We got Devon Acham breaking tackles in open space, gain of about 10. There is a flag though. There is a flag. We shall see what that flag is for. Holding on the offense, going to bring that one back 10 yards. And that's the worst. When you make a nice play and there's a hold. Why offensive linemen are the most underappreciated people on the field. They have a terribly hard job, and you only see the negative. You only see the negative from what happens from them. You only see the holds. You never know when they play well. It's so hard to tell when offensive line plays well. All right, here we go. So 2nd and 9, 15-yard line. Back them up like 10 yards. All right, shotgun. Tua looking downfield, found his man Tyreek Hill. First down. Tyreek Hill, first down. Okay, you said you have Keenan, Marvin Harrison, CD, Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Goddard, Joku. It's a 2-flex league. Okay, so let me see if I understand this right. So that means until CD comes back. Oh, you have Josh Jacobs too. So until CD comes back, if he comes back, right? You're basically going to be rolling out Keenan and Marvin Harrison as your receivers every week. And then you'd be rolling out Bijan and Jacobs. And then your flexes are Njoku / Goddard and Nick Chubb, from what I would see. Versus if you didn't give away Worthy and Javonte, you would be rolling with Javonte and Jacobs. And then you'd be rolling with Worthy, Marvin Harrison, Keenan Allen, and then only one between Nick Chubb and the other receivers. So, okay, I see why you're asking that there. Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good question then, because there is a little bit of a depth issue there. Is there no one else on your bench or waiver that you would be targeting to fill in for the time being? Because I guess, based on your record and where you think CD is at, essentially, if and when CD comes back, you had Bijan, you have a stacked team, right? Both running back positions, you probably got advantage in those. CD would be good, and then your second receiver position, based on position, be a solid thing. I get it. Okay, so you're 2-2. You're 2-2, and you have no depth besides that. So basically, if you do take Bijan, you're playing all those players up there. You'd be playing Chubb, Goddard, and Njoku, from what I understand. I think Chubb's almost lost his position. That's the reason I'm bringing that up. Is I think he's pretty much going to lose the role in the next couple weeks. So I'm hoping you have some type of depth there. But let me know, Vals. Let me know. You have Aaron Jones. Oh, okay. Okay. So you have Aaron Jones. What's up, Brendan? I'll answer your question in a sec. Sorry, just taking a sec for Val's question. I mean, so let me think. You swap out Javonte for Bijan, and it's a good positive there, but then you're giving up, let's say, Keenan Allen in the flex for Nick Chubb. I think you still win there. I think you still win. You'd have to look at your scoring type, which is if it's PPR, right? And then what I would be looking at is if you fit into the exact roster mold in those positions. I could be wrong, but I'm visualizing Bijan going in for Javonte, and that's a huge point margin there, maybe like +8 or something like that. And then in one of your flexes, you would basically be losing out on, let's say, Xavier Worthy or Keenan Allen for somebody else, and I don't think you could lose 8 points there. Is what I'm thinking. Like that would have to be like that point differential right there would have to be pretty drastic. So I don't think you would lose 8 points there, but that's yeah. That's essentially what I'm getting at. Is there anybody on your waiver too that you could use besides then? I don't think Javonte is gonna keep that high, right, of value. I agree on that. I agree that he's probably more like a RB2 for the rest of the season. And that's kind of what I was saying is like, I think like Bijan's for sure, right, going to be an RB1 for as long as he's healthy. And not only is he going to be an RB1, he is going to be fighting for the top RB1 spot week to week. So I think that plus differential is a lot better. I would just have to. Oh, I think Jalen Waddle just caught a catch for everybody who wanted it. But yeah, is there anybody on the waiver that you could fill into in the meantime? Because if you do go for the 2-for-1, you should have another spot open then, right? To be able to pick up. So hopefully you could find somebody until you get some of that depth back. But that's unfortunate, man. You had some unfortunate injuries on your team there. But let me know, Vals. Let me know. That was a good question. Hey, Brendan. So trade Bowers, Ibuka, and Judkins for Trey McBride, Rashee Rice, and J.K. Dobbins. I would not do that. I would definitely not do that. So unless you're getting Bowers, Ibuka, and Judkins, but I think Judkins is over Dobbins. I think, it's almost a wash for the other two. Bowers might, versus McBride, right now is kind of debatable. on who it's going to be. Rashi, you're still out, what, 2 more games? Abuka has the runway. So I would not do that. And then if you're 4-0, Brendan, it almost, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If Bowers, Abuka, and Judkins have been winning you, I don't really know about that trade. Is there something that you're thinking of that I'm not foreseeing on why you would want to do that trade? Maybe you just particular like Rashi Rice or something, but I think the winner in that trade is the Bowers, Ibuka, and Judkins side. Waivers are dry for you, Vals. Ah, man. Sorry, bro. You're welcome, though. You're welcome. All right, Miami 1st and goal. Everybody wanted a Waddle touchdown, so we'll see what happens. 1st and goal. And they got stuffed in the backfield. So it's going to be 2nd down. 2nd down. 2nd down. Tua is on what yard line? I don't know what yard line he's on, but 2nd and goal. Nothing there for that handoff. The Jets defense swarmed them. Well, so we got Tua under center. Here we go. Making the pass to Devon Achane, getting forced out of bounds. Oh, man. Put the spam out there. You haven't started Judkins at all because you have Jonathan Taylor and Gibbs, and you have George Pickens and Debo. I put at the flex until I get Rashi, as I've been panicking on Bowers lately, so I don't know. See, that's the thing, though, is like you're 4-0 without Bowers doing well, right? Which means that like if you're at that position, you're at that position's floor, right? And even though Bowers has not been performing to where he's was expected to perform, he's still, like not giving you nothing, right? He's giving you something. And then it's not like Trey McBride has been the clear cut, tight end one. This position right now through these first 4 weeks is a mixed bag. So I think you're bringing yourself just as much uncertainty with Trey McBride, because if you compare the offenses, Arizona to the Raiders, it's not like all of a sudden if you switch to the Arizona team that you have this amazing, it's not like you have this amazing offense that's just leagues better than the Raiders, and it's going to guarantee you more point volume. That's not necessarily the case. But I know, what's it called? If you feel like you're not using him, here's just one thought on things for you, right? Is what I would be looking at is balancing the concept of like the running back depth, right? Because there are going to be weeks where there are buys, and are you in the position to win, without that depth? And then if so, then he is a very good trade asset, right? But if you trade him away, are you as confident with the people that you're going to get to roll out in those weeks to fill in the position of Jonathan Taylor or Gibbs? Because what I can say is I would be more confident putting in Judkins, for that. But it's kind of up to your depth there. And then if so, right, I wouldn't be looking to move like Bowers for, let's say, Trey McBride, which is kind of lateral right now. And I would not do like a Bowers for, like a Ferguson. Like I would not do that. But what value you could have, I don't know what your quarterback position is, but maybe you could move a piece, if you're not liking your quarterback, to move there. But I'm not sure how much depth you need or looking at, but you know, there is reason to have a third running back. If even if you have Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor, right? It can be good to have one more back. But hopefully that helped. Let me know if that didn't help or not. But I think while I was doing that analysis, I think Darren Waller caught a touchdown. So there we go. That man making his money, coming in out of nowhere. Coming out of nowhere. Missing his first games and then just coming in and catching footballs and catching touchdowns. That's hilarious. I guess this is why they paid him a lot of money on a short notice. But while it's commercial break, I'm going to take a quick break and use the bathroom. All right. All right. Cover this a bit more, see if anybody comes in right before this last game. The last game being Denver and Cincinnati. See if there's any last minute questions there. We won't cover the whole game today, just a few more drives, maybe the first half or something like that of this Miami game. But Miami's up 10-0. Miami is up 10-0 after Braylon Allen fumbled. All right. Where are we at so far? I'm not sure who played Darren Waller. Highly doubt many people played Darren Waller unless it was just like a hope and a prayer. But he got the touchdown. So let's see. So what's the box score say? So Justin Fields only has thrown the ball one time, but he's ran 3 times for 29 yards. So Justin Fields only 1 pass attempt for 5 yards, but 3 runs for basically 30 yards. That's hilarious. What's up? Would I trade Alvaro? Would I trade Dobbs high here? Yeah, I mean, I don't. Is there do you have an offer? If anybody's, giving you an offer, um, for something solid, I think so. Like if your question is like, do I think he's all of a sudden gonna become like, do I think he's gonna become like a Q from the Chargers, or some breakout candidate like that? I don't think that'll be the case, but I think a season of like 800 to 1,000 yards, 8 or 9 touchdowns, I think that might be possible. Oh, no offers yet? Yeah, like I would set my expectations in a way where, wait, let me see if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think he's had 1,000 yards yet, right? I don't think he has. But I think he has had a season with almost 10 touchdowns. So let's see. Uh, no, 800. So he's had 670 yards and 8 touchdowns as his best season. So, um, you know, again, I wouldn't be sitting, and hoping for this like outrageous campaign, but will he have another few games with a touchdown or maybe even two? I think it's possible for sure. I definitely think it's possible. You have Worthy, Waddle, Debo, and Thornton. So you're basically rolling out Debo then, right? And then either probably Worthy as your two for most weeks. Do you have any targets in mind on who might take Dobbs, or you might be able to get for Dobbs? Because I think he's only rostered in like 20 or 30% of leagues, so I'm not necessarily sure if anybody feels like oh, I should trade Marvin Harrison Jr. Or Brian Thomas Jr. I don't think you're gonna be able to get anybody like that. I'm trying to think of anybody potential instead. But yeah, I mean, you have like solid, I would say, receivers, but I think you need an oomph. So I don't know if you could package something. You're going after the guy that lost Neighbors. Got it. Who does he have that you want? Because if I lost Neighbors, your most valuable piece is Debo to me. If I lost Neighbors, right, and I'm looking at the names that you sent me, and you're like, who do I want? I would say I would want Debo and Worthy, or Debo and Waddle, but on your end, I don't know if you're willing to give that, right? But I like, from the market's point of view, I think that's what people would be wanting. All right, so the Jets are. But let me know if that helped Alvaro, or if he's got any like who you would be targeting. But I don't know if he's paying up for Dobbs, but he might pay up for Debo, maybe even Worthy. All right, so we got 1st and 10, cross midfield on the Miami 40, Fields under center, shotgun, throws the ball away, flags everywhere. Going after great advice. I could do that. Yeah, you're welcome. You'll be okay moving Debo? Yeah. Oh, for sure then. Yeah, that's I think if I was sitting in the shoes, I'd be ecstatic to get Debo. Because he's been good. You're loaded on tight end. Also, you have Powers and Kraft. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. You could roll with either guy probably. But Kraft. I don't know who would have higher sell value though. I don't know if you were thinking about selling either of those guys, but um, who would have higher sell value in that? That's that's interesting. People might still be riding the Bowers wave, but Kraft to me probably is the safer return on value. He's the for sure um, target in that offense. Bowers injuries kind of you're so stressed with why why are you stressed with Kraft's quarterback situation just because they run the ball so much? Oh, Bowers? Yeah. Yeah, I think you look at each offense as an individual, right? And even though like Green Bay likes to run and stuff and has defense, their offense as a whole is better, right? Probably projected to score more points on the course of the year. So I can agree with that. Um, I can agree with that. I'm not wearing my Raiders jersey right now, but I'm a Raiders fan and I I don't know. That's all I could say about their offense. I don't know. um, all right, so what's been going on in this game? The other game's about 10 minutes away. We got the Jets on the 40, second and 8. Got a shotgun formation for Fields. Oh, whistle blown dead. Whistle blows it dead. Another flag. False start on the offense, backs them up 5 yards. They're showing Braylon Allen walking off the field looking injured. That might mean Brees Hall to get full load of work right now. I wonder if that changes things if he's really injured for Brees Hall's contract situation for this year. All right. Second and 13. Shotgun formation. Takes the snap. Steps back. Throws right side. Looks like Garrett Wilson. Breaks the tackle. Taken out of bounds. Okay. Good gain of about maybe 8. So 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5. We got 3rd and 5. Dolphins are up 10-0. 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first half. We got 3rd and 5 on about the 36-yard line. Garrett Wilson in motion. Fields shotgun snap. Snap is off. Flag is off. Probably a hold. Incomplete to Brees Hall. What is the flag for? Looks like a legal shift against the Jets. Penalties declined. It's 4th down. 4th down. So the Jets are 4th down and 5. Signaling like they're going to go for it. That is like they're going to go for it. We shall see. All right, here we go. Here we go. Shotgun. Snap is off. Fields getting sacked and he fumbles it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Fields is fumbling. Jeez, man. There's some type of stat about that where even though these running quarterbacks are good for us for fantasy because they run so much, but because they run so much, they also put their team in the bad positions because they get sacked so much and they fumble a lot like this. So this is definitely showing that downside. So what do we got? We got Justin Fields, only 4 passes for 21 yards, 3 completions. But he's ran 4 times, so he still has more run attempts than completions and more yards running than passing. But he does now have a fumble. Breece Hall has nice 42 yards on 5 carries. And Garrett Wilson only has 1 catch. Dolphins, Tua has over 100 yards and a touchdown, where Tyreek Hill has 56 yards already on 4 receptions on 4 targets. Jalen Waddle has 1 catch for 25 yards, 3 targets. And Darren Waller has a touchdown. Darren Waller has a touchdown. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Right. So we got 4 more minutes left in the first half of this one. Other game about to kick off. Probably keep going until the end of this half, which will probably be longer than the start of the next game. There's no more questions for start sits, trades, things like that. But appreciate everybody who's dropped questions so far or different thoughts. Feel free to drop any more questions, comments, trade ideas, whatever you need. So we got Miami up 10-0 with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Justin Fields just fumbled the ball. And he's on the 43-yard line. Tua with the handoff. Nowhere to go. Got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Nothing there. Ooh, they double team Garrett Wilson. I mean, you might as well double team Garrett Wilson, right? What the heck? Like, who else are they going to throw to? All right, 2nd and 10. Here we go. Shotgun formation. Got Tyreek in motion. Pass to Tyreek for a quick screen. Nowhere to go. Gain of maybe 1, but not much there. So 3rd down. It's 3rd down. 3rd down after a turnover. After the turnover by Justin Fields, we got 3rd and 9 for Miami, just past midfield. 3 minutes left in this half. So we shall see. We got shotgun pass complete, Tyreek Hill, I think. And he's got the 1st down, maybe about 5, maybe about 15 yards. So 1st down, Tyreek Hill. Oh, but they called a hold on the offense. 10 yards. Man, again, when you are the offensive line, you get no credit. You only get the penalties. That sucks. That really sucks. So they're going to be backed up. I forgot. Maybe they'll have like 2nd or 3rd and 19-ish for Miami. Up 10 points against the Jets. It's been a couple costly turnovers by the Jets. One of them on the 3-yard line by Brandon Allen. He's hurt. Hopefully he'll be okay. Other one coming from Justin Fields, past midfield. So 2 costly mistakes by the Jets. Still got a big fat donut. No points, 0 points on the board. So we shall see if Miami could score one more time before the half, or if they're going to have to give the ball back. What are they going to do if they're in 3rd down territory or 4 down territory? We shall see. We shall see. All right. Drop any questions, last minute start sits, waiver wires, trades. We got maybe 1 or 2 more drives left of coverage, just to see. All right. Let's see what we got. Coming back to the 10-0 game. The Miami up 10-0. Up 10-0 against the Jets. Jets just costly turnovers. Oh, we had a injured player in the secondary for the Jets. All right, we got shotgun. Taking the snap, 3rd and 19. Over the top. Just a very conservative call. 4th down. 4th down and 10. Probably taking it down to the 2-minute warning. The Jets have 3 timeouts, and Miami has 2 timeouts. So we shall see. 2-minute warning if they're going to kick the field goal or what they're going to try. But Miami's ball when we come back been a game of turnovers. I think that's what we would expect from 2 0-3 teams. Let's see. What else? Anything else interesting going on the game? The Dolphins, Devon Achane, 6 carries, 26 yards. Tyreek Hill's the best. Waller. I know. Oh, Tua has a fumble. Time does the next game start at? Can't believe Dan Moore has the touchdown. That's so crazy. Oh, the other game started. The other game has started. Let's see what's happening. No, the Bengals are driving. Bengals are driving in that one. Jake Browning got 2 for 9 yards. Excuse me. All right. Looks like we might be coming back. This was a kind of underwhelming first half. Everything looked like it was good, a couple trips marching down and costly turnovers. All right. So I got pumped team out for Miami. And the Jets will have one more chance to get put on the board before the end of the half. Ooh, that was bad. Weird punt. So Jets coming on the field, set about 13-yard line, I think they said. Oh, they showed the turnovers, though. They are showing the turnovers for Justin Fields. Justin Fields and Braylon Allen. All right, so we got 1st and 10 for the Jets. Maybe the last drive of the evening for me to commentate on. But we got 16-yard line. Minute 52 left. Shotgun formation. Takes snap, handoff to Brees Hall up the middle, gain of about 4. So about minute 40 left. They have all 3 timeouts. The Jets have all 3 timeouts, so they should be able to run the full 2-minute drill. Dropping back, Justin Fields over the middle, Brees Hall again for the first down. So first down for the Jets, minute 20 left. Shotgun formation, Fields takes the snap, hands it off again. So a gain of about 5, maybe. So you got 1 minute left. They got a shotgun, 2nd and 3. It was a gain of 7. Shotgun, pass over the middle, first down to Brees Hall again. So all plays to Brees Hall for these first 20 yards. Timeout by the Jets. Timeout by the Jets. Let's see how the other game is doing. Bengals are marching, it looks like. Third down in that game. Third down in that game for the Bengals. They're making a 62-yard drive. It's 4th down. It was incomplete pass. So they'll probably kick a field goal. They're on the Denver 8-yard line. It's 4th and 2 for them. T. Higgins gets 2 receptions for 25 yards. Jake Browning has 43 yards, 5 for 7. Pretty good. They kicked a field goal. All right. Bengals kicked a field goal, so they're good there. Let's see. Let's watch the end of this last game. This or last part of the half. Sorry. Not sure. Wonder why they do these double headers on Mondays. All right. So here you go. We got the Jets. 46 seconds left. 2 timeouts on the 37-yard line. They only got 46 seconds left, but 2 timeouts, so they could still throw up the middle if they want. Shotgun formation. Flag is off. Wow. False start. False start on the offense. Jeez. So 1st and 15 for the Jets. Oh man, this is ugly. Empty backfield. Fields dropping back, passing over the middle. Hitting Lazard for maybe a gain of 7. So 36, 35 seconds left. It's got to hurry up. 30 seconds left. 29, 28. Snap is off. Fields misses his man. 23 seconds left, but the clock is stopped because it was a missed pass. So 3rd down, 3rd and 7. Probably 4 down territory. So we'll see. The Jets are still with 0 points to Miami's 10. Shotgun formation. Dropping back. Passing. Garrett Wilson getting the 1st down. It's going to have to call a timeout. 17 seconds left. So they're taking the timeout. Got the 1st down. 17 seconds left. All right. So they got the 1st down. 1 timeout left. I don't know. Can they get a touchdown? It'd have to be like a broken coverage or something. I don't know if they could get that far with only 1 timeout. The way that Fields has been operating it. They're at the about midfield. Taking the snap. 17 seconds left. Guy in motion. Line is set again. Snap is off. Dropping back. Firing over the middle. 10 seconds left. He got out of bounds, but 4 yards gained, so 2nd and 6. We'll see. They got 1 timeout left, so they can do whatever they want. They could run it, they could throw it up the middle. The one thing they can't do, though, is go backwards. They're almost at field goal range, still slightly outside of it, or it'd be a very long field goal. All right, Miami spent the timeout, so there's 9 seconds left. Second and 6. 10 seconds left. All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. 2nd and 6. Shotgun formation. Dropping back. 7 seconds. Firing. Incomplete. Flag. Flag is out. Illegal contact. 5-yard penalty. So grabbed the back of his jersey, past the line of scrimmage. So 1st and 10, 5 seconds left. Miami spends its last timeout. So 5 seconds left. The announcers and 1 timeout. They're basically saying they gotta run it because they don't have enough time to throw it, then call the timeout. So 1st down, 5 seconds left in the half. Empty backfield. Empty backfield. Ball bouncing around. Nobody caught. 2 seconds left. 2nd and 10, 2 seconds left. So they're going to kick a field goal. So Nick Folk for the Jets will be kicking the field goal. It's a 58-yard attempt. So last play of coverage. Let's see what they do. Snap is good. Kick is off. And kick is good. Wow. Wow, there we go. All right. Well, that was good coverage. Thanks for everybody who dropped start sit questions, trade questions, rest of season questions. Appreciate y'all watching this video. I'll be on again 30 minutes before the Thursday game. So thank you so much for watching. Drop a like below. If this helps you, make sure to subscribe. We're on 30 minutes before games every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. So we'll see y'all next time.